Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to another episode of Life with Shenita. I am Shenita Connolly, and I would like to welcome you to tonight's show. I'm so excited to welcome three amazing men who are walking in their purpose and who will inspire you if you just need a little push into yours. So, this is a new month, the month of April. It's actually the month that I will celebrate 1 year of my talk show being in existence. So, I'm really excited about that. In the next few weeks, we will celebrate the life and legacy of my brother David McCants on April the 15th. Each show this month will be an amazing show. So I hope that you guys will tune in weekly, not only this month, but each and every month. And I want to just thank everyone for the support that they have given me over this journey since I've started on April the 16th, 2020. So tonight's show is about men on purpose. And so the goal tonight is for these men to share their purpose path that they're on and to inspire those who may not have found their purpose yet. And I am hoping that, you guys will be inspired by their stories. So before I bring them in, as always, I am doing research on whatever the relevant topic is. And so I wanted to share just a little bit about men and purpose. So I found this article that was quite interesting, and it's titled 5 Reasons Why American Men Struggle to Find Their Purpose. And this story is by Joseph Matera. So the 5 things, and one of them really caught my attention, and I'll share that. But I'm going to share with you the 5 reasons. The number one reason he thinks that American men struggle to find their purpose is men need to be team players. Number 2, he said, men need to walk in corporate destiny in order to fulfill their individual identity. Number 3 was men need to be vulnerable to other men and expose their weaknesses. Number 4, men need to honor aged men for their wisdom and experience. Number 5 is men need to have purpose they are willing to die for instead of living a life of indulgence. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what he said about this last part. Number 5, men who have no purpose in life tend to indulge themselves in the lust of the flesh and are the most miserable people of all. I have found my greatest joy in when I finish work the Lord has given me for a particular task. Then when I relax, I am filled with the euphoric spiritual feeling that is greater than any physical pleasure I could ever have. And he says, read John 17:4. All men were born with an innate desire to nurture and to protect their families, empower the helpless, and to die for a cause greater than themselves. Those who are missing even one of these elements in their lives will walk around depressed due to feeling a lack of inner fulfillment, or will be addicted to some pleasure because they are attempting to medicate themselves to drown out the powerful voice of God calling them to fulfill their vocation in life. I pray that all who read this commit to following all 3 of these God-given mandates in their lives and, like Jesus, glorify the Lord, having completed the work he gave them to do. And so whether you believe that or not, that is something that caught my attention, and I wanted to share that with you guys. One of the things about the 3 men that will share the platform with me this evening is that they have found their purpose in life. And I am hoping that their stories, their journey will help you or inspire you to walk in your purpose. So without further delay, I would like to bring them in and they will introduce themselves to you this evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me this evening as we talk about purpose. I am excited to have each of you all here this evening. And as I said to the audience, I'm sure that someone is going to be inspired by something that you say. So as we prepare to get started, I would like for you all to take a couple of minutes to introduce yourselves to the audience. So I'd like to begin with you, Andrew, if you would introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me as a guest. And to my fellow guests, hey, continued well wishes, blessings with all that you're working on. My name is Andrew Snorton. I'm based out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. Grew up in the state of New Jersey. Education wise, an alumnus of Wake Forest University up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and still tied in with the university as being a member of the board of the School of Divinity, a member of the Greek Alumni Advisory Board, which ties in with our fraternities and sororities, and previously has served as the president of the Association of Wake Forest University Black Alumni, Alumni Council, and Alumni and Admissions. Community-wise, one of the key things I'm involved in is with the LEAD Foundation, LEAD Foundation, where you develop tomorrow's leaders today. That focuses on programming for middle and high school students, from mentoring, college tours, which are on hold right now, but we'll definitely get back to that, and other community-based endeavors. Professionally, under my business, Creative Community Solutions, there's an education-based services that ranges from traditional tutoring, virtual tutoring, ACT and SAT prep, and other education-based workshops. Under the press and media end, my partnership with Status Network, I have my own broadcast show, The Conversation Corner, which airs every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have some great people across entertainment, business, community, and more. And I also work with a few different businesses in regards to their press and media strategies, interfacing with radio, television, great shows like today and things along those lines. And that last piece is the writing piece, which we'll really focus on today, where I provide editing services. To date, since 2017, I've written 3 books and I've recorded 4 audio books, including my most recent edition where I partnered with Chris 10 Media. So we'll get into those a little bit later. That's a snapshot of the work that I do. And if you look at the ticker below, you'll be able to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You may email me, as well as the business website. So that's just a little bit about me.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It's so much that you found on this path to purpose that is so meaningful. So I appreciate every element of what you do, particularly to help young people reach their destiny. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I will allow Mr. Tyrell Player to introduce himself to you all.
Yes. My name is Tyrell Player. I introduce myself as an author of Stolen Innocence, as a newly co-author of the book Just Like My Dad. But also, I am the CEO of Playtime Multimedia and Publishing Company, which we put out books, films, commercials, and such and so forth. I'm also a community mentor. Also, what a lot of people don't know, ordained deacon. My path to this was kind of different. So I love what I do. I love trying to write and create and mentor. So I also hold a bachelor's in applied psychology with a concentration in media and technology. So that's what I love to do. So that's what we're doing. We built a company that boasts 5 artists signed to my company. So we have books that will be in production coming out next month with Just Like My Dad, April 16th. A lot of people that's watching now, they saw me post a glimpse of my our social media page, as well as our website, which is Playtime Multimedia. So everything will be starting to show within the next few days, what you have been seeing over the last year of me filming, doing commercials and writing books. This is what I've been doing in the background, building my company. So that's what you get a glimpse of that tonight as we speak.
Awesome. Awesome. I just love the sound of authors. I love the sound of not only being an author, but helping others to become an author. And I heard Andrew say that as well. And so that is just music to my ears. So I'm really, really proud of you men. Last but certainly not least, we have Bishop J.C. Causey. Bishop, let me unmute you and let you introduce yourself to the audience.
Good afternoon. I'm just Johnny Causey, more or less, bishop, also known as the bishop, but I just like to be humble enough just to be a servant. And that's basically me. I'm every man's friend, every child's mentor, and just try the world is my platform, more or less, and not just grounded to that. I've co-authored, thanks to the empowering of our lovely host, and I got the nerve to go out and just get into the book thing, and now I've just been writing. Now I got to get them out. But it prompted me to write one of my story. I was 35 years ago, I was I was pronounced dead on the side of the road. So when it brought me into really telling my story of telling people who I am, how I came to be, and how I got to this point in life, from the body bag to the bishop. They had pronounced me dead, and now I am alive. I'm helping. I'm inspiring other people, and that's just I just want to just make sure everybody gets a chance to know who they are and what they are. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I just want to everybody has a story, and it's not history, but it's our story. Each individual person has something within you, regardless of a lot of degrees and everything, but I got degrees in various things in order to be a helper to all. I don't want to be a tunnel vision. So if you need medicine, I did the pharmacy technician and all that stuff, the psychology, the sociology, but most of all, just to be a servant and to be open to everyone's need and to be noticeable and noticing everyone, because everyone can be in a crowd of people, but there's always one person that's hurting, and just to see beyond the crowd and see who's in need. So I thank God for this opportunity, and thank our host and my co-host here today. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Awesome. I'm so excited because Tyrell and you and myself are all from Pensacola, Florida, and so we are representing the Gulf Coast. So right. I'm excited for that moment, and that we are all authors, and you amazing men are living a life of purpose. So let's open up with a little icebreaker. I'd like for you guys to describe briefly, because we have so much that we want to share this evening. So I would like for you guys to describe briefly the color yellow. If you had to describe the color yellow to someone that was blind, how would you describe that color to them? So let's start with Tyrell, my nephew. Let's start with you. If you had to describe the color yellow to someone that's blind, walk us through that.
Okay, I figured you'd put me on the spot, but I would ask that you close your eyes. Imagine this, because this would be someone blind. So I would have them close their eyes and imagine them walking barefoot. The sand in their feet, they smile and everything's going good. And then all of a sudden, boom, their foot hits a large anchor or something, and it just creates a big star, and radiates through their body with a warm feeling. That's what sunshine does to you. So that's all I can explain to you when it comes to the sun and yellow. And that's what I would describe the color yellow as, like the sun, because that's what it feels like.
And it's ironic that you say that, because my color for my program, Life After the Rain, is yellow. Right. And so when people go through tragedies, there's always sunshine after the rain. And so yellow gives life. It means life. And so thank you for that.
Yeah, I associate with sunshine. So
thank you for that. Next up, Bishop.
Wow.
How would you describe the color yellow to someone that's blind?
It's amazing that you said life, because that's what I was going to say. I got vibrant, warm, living, and exhilarating, because it's just like if you felt the sun, the yellow, it will invigorate you and refresh you to just want to soak up everything and run. Even if you didn't have legs, the sun, the color yellow would be like the sun, and it gives you power. So it is life-giving. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's ironic that you said that.
Yes.
So it's living.
Yes. Awesome. Last but certainly not least, Andrew Snorton. How would you describe the color yellow to someone that was blind?
The way I would describe it would be similar to what other people said in regards to that sense of warmth and energy. But when you think about your mission and purpose, how they say, let your light shine. So think about tapping into not only the external or what you can see, but even if you don't have that physical vision, it does not mean you are lacking vision in regards to understanding who you are, whose you are, ordering your steps, and being in your mission and purpose. Because even with, quote, that physical handicap, that does not handicap you from being the principal person and presence that you're capable of being.
Awesome. Awesome. So you all would agree that it gives life.
It does.
Yes.
The color yellow gives life. And that's why I chose that color to represent my Life After the Rain program, because I want the people involved in that program, although they have lost loved ones, I want them to keep living. And so that's the goal there. Okay. Thank you. So let's start the conversation about purpose. So you guys are on this path to purpose. You found your purpose. So what does purpose mean to you, Bishop? And how did you end up on this path? Can you tell us that?
Purpose for me is my reason for living. It's who I am. And it's odd. I ended up on this path from, like I say, 35 years ago. I was at 20 years old, and I was stationed out in California and got into a bad accident, was on the side of the road, dead. They pronounced me dead. Fast forward to 2013, when the loss of my spouse, and it seemed like death brought me to a purpose of having life. And that's the sole thing. In death, I became alive. And it gave me the strength to be like, okay. And regardless of what things that I lost, some limitations of movement, but I'm still able to do everything that my mind sets forth to do. And I can do it with God's strength and purpose. So my purpose is to give back everything that I took for granted. And that's the way it was. I was young and wild, but I took a lot of things for granted. Now I want to allow people to see their purpose, what a purpose truly is. Everyone has purpose because you are who you are. And we're not perfect, but we're the perfect person that God has made us to be.
Awesome. And your journey went from the military to becoming a pastor.
Yes. Yes. A Marine to a pastor. Yes.
Hardcore to really agape love.
To gentle.
Hardcore to gentle. So I'm sure in your ministry, you have really helped many, many people on this journey of ministry. I heard you say you are a friend to all.
Yes. I don't
What
meet
does that mean?
Oh, go ahead.
What does that mean when you say a friend to all?
I don't meet strangers because I can see someone and find something that they come up with. We can talk for a person 5 minutes and I can know whether or not they're going to be someone I'm going to link up with and make sure I keep them in the memory banks or in the Rolodex for life, more or less. Because it's just that I can find the simplest thing to like in a person. And it seems like even if they don't find something themselves, I can tell them, hey, you just got a voice that just makes me want to listen, sit up and talk. And then that opens up a person to want to talk. So I can talk to anyone and listen. I guess and it's about patience. And that's the greatest thing I've learned in my purpose, because I was an impatient person in the Marine Corps. So I got patience to sit up and listen until, it seemed like, okay, it's dull, boring. But at the end of the message, when they do it, oh, that's where it all comes from. I get it at the last part, but I just don't meet a stranger. And that's why I say friend to all. I can be friendly to anyone. And that's basically my purpose. Awesome. Not to like them, but to love them. Not to love them, but even if I don't like them, I can love people. And love can make me look over a lot of faults that everybody else will see.
And that's so important. That agape love that will help you win souls and change lives. So awesome. Andrew, tell me what purpose means to you and how did you end up on this path?
Hey, that's a great question, and to me purpose is a combination of what you're doing with your prayer, your planning, your principles, your preparation, as I said before, your persistence, as well as your patience. And it's been a very interesting journey as I can really sit back and think about it. When I look at the professional lens, it ranged from my first job out of college, working with one of the with the Athens Clarke County Juvenile Court System in regards to intervention programs for first-time offenders. And little did I realize that was helping me plan for my corporate career indirectly when I worked in auto claims through doing investigations and all that type of thing. But then ultimately that landed me into education, and I taught for 5 years in Gwinnett County Public Schools, taught language arts, social studies, journalism, and for a little bit, I did a little bit of drama and theater arts, and I ran the after school sports program, which then bridged me to eventually landing and doing, what I'm doing now and continuing to evolve. So when I think about the patience, you do have to be patient with yourself, but when you realize that your patience can help you kind of pause and reboot and plan, and as a lot of, as everybody's alluded here, directly or indirectly, be a lot more ordered in your steps, then you're walking with a little different energy. You're walking with a little bit different strength. But because you've kind of been there, you can lean on that to definitely better connect with people from different walks of life. So when I think about what I'm doing now, even though I'm not in the classroom per se, I'm still teaching in regards to the education services. Even with working in press and media, from what I was doing to where I am now and having a platform and using a show, that still is through planning and preparation, because it's almost like what you're doing now is preparing you for what's down the road. Now, you don't always know where down the road is. You have your ideas, but as we can all attest, God does work in mysterious ways and positions you to where you're supposed to be. So even when I look at today with the writing and the topics covered, which obviously we'll get into, you kind of see it, and then you understand, what you've been led through to get here, and that allows you to better connect with people and be a better resource and a better steward, just like Bishop said, and just like our fellow guest is going to say. So that's what it means to me. Just a little bit of those P's, and when you pause and reflect, it's like, now I understand.
Absolutely. Because as you said, you don't necessarily know down the road what that looks like and all the things that you're going through. Because I found myself in this place as a result of losing my husband. And I think, JC mentioned his life was almost taken, and then he lost his wife. And sometimes those situations thrust us into this place of purpose. And so I appreciate you guys sharing that. Last but certainly not least, Tyrell, will you share with us what purpose means to you and how did you end up on this particular path of purpose?
Okay. What purpose means to me is doing something that leaves a positive imprint on your life. That's what purpose is, and to be driven toward it. My purpose, for the people that don't know me, I was incarcerated for 17 and a half years. So the earlier part of my life, I didn't have a purpose. I just moved and kind of like did things as how I wanted to do, and ended up in a place that most people that do what I did end up in. But during the time I was in there, I found my purpose, and it wasn't easy because I still did a lot of things in there that was still part of the old life. But I found my purpose after my great uncle passed, and that was writing, and that was trying to do something more positive than what I was doing. I knew I couldn't come back home and do the same thing, and I had to create. And while I sit there, those that have done the time that I have done, you have a lot of alone time. So when you have a lot of alone time, it's to do something with it. I studied, I educated myself, I wrote, I taught, I encouraged, I mentored, and gathered encouragement. And then also got more spiritual. Stop worrying about what other people think and how people see me, and know that. I remember this. One guy asked me, he said, "Man, you're a leader. A lot of people follow you, but you leading the wrong way. When you gonna do it the right way?" And that's became my purpose. So now when I talk to folks, I don't have no agenda. I really don't try and do anything that would bring something back. I give a lot now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all gonna come back. So my purpose is to give, to provide a lane for those who don't have a lane. As far as being like, I started this company, publishing company, because when I was in prison, I had tons of people trying to sign me, send me money. But guess what? It was gonna benefit them more so. It was gonna tell their story. Having my own company, I could sign the people that I want. Simon Schuster can't tell me no. We want a Christian faith book. I take all genres. I have 5 authors signed to my company under contract. So it's a different kind of publishing company. We're not so much as looking for people. We're going to take people and sign them according to their work. But we're also trying to be one of the largest Black-owned publishing companies in the world, and that's what we're doing. And we laid the foundation with me being a vice president, my vice president Alonzo Strange, my executive director Victoria Swindle, my graphic designer James Scales, editor Andrea Eden, author Elizabeth Johnson. So everybody is signed. So it's a win process, and that has been my purpose: putting people together and saying that we can come together and win, and not want other people to hand us something. And if that's not a purpose, I don't know what is.
Awesome. Awesome. I love the collaboration. I think that it is important that we collaborate and that we assist others as they're trying to find their purpose on this journey called life. And so I see that in all of you. And I appreciate that because it means that you're selfless individuals. And when we're selfless serving with a purpose, of course, we're going to be blessed. We know that. And so I really, really appreciate where you guys are and where you're going on this journey. And the people, I can see the people, the legacies that will be lasting for millions of people. Because, you know, what we're doing today, when we're dead and gone, will outlive us. And so that's the beauty of the work that we're doing, particularly documenting, putting it in writing and publishing it. It will outlive us. And so I encourage people to not think about what other people say about their purposed journey and to stay focused on your journey, because that's what it's for. It's not, you know, for us to get distracted or discouraged by other people. And so I have to do a lot of self-talking myself so that I can stay on track, because if we don't, we can get off track. So thank you for sharing what purpose means to you and how did you end up in this place. And I like, you know, Tyrell, you sharing that you were incarcerated for 17 and a half years and how that pushed you into this purpose journey that you're on today. And I loved how Bishop shared that near-death experience and the loss of a spouse pushed him to this journey. And I loved, as Andrew said, all of his dots were connected to where he is today because, you know, he started out in working with juvenile court teaching and how all of that still plays into his purpose today and the work that he's doing and lives that he's impacting, or the lives that all of you guys are impacting. So that's amazing. I want you to share with the audience if there's somebody out there who is trying to find their purpose, because I hear it all the time. People say, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. If you had to sit down with someone and give them, some advice on identifying their purpose, what would you say to them? Tyrell, what would you say to that person who says to you, I don't know what my purpose is? What kind of advice would you give to them as they're struggling to find their purposeful place in life?
Well, I give advice. I like to try and take it. So what I would tell someone when it comes to finding their purpose is to be yourself. Find what you're comfortable with. You're never going to find your purpose trying to do what someone else wants you to do or what they're comfortable doing. And I noticed that. I came home and I have had many jobs. So when I came home and I found that the work field, and taking all the stuff that comes with it. It wasn't for me. I just so happened to have a talent to put myself in a position to not do it. For those that have a talent to do that, you should try that. And if you're working for somewhere at a place and it's not for you, then don't stay there. Find your purpose. That's what it is. Your purpose is where you feel comfortable. You know, I can get up and decide what I'm going to do, what I'm going to write, what I'm going to film, and I'm comfortable doing that. And somebody might get comfortable getting up driving the truck, but that's their purpose. You have to find what makes you comfortable and happy every morning. And if it might not make you happy while you're smiling, but you're comfortable doing it. If you go complain, it's not your purpose. It's not something you should be doing.
Awesome. Bishop, how would you answer that question for someone who's struggling to find their purpose?
And find out what exactly, makes you happy, makes you live, makes you alive, and makes you, feel like living. And the greatest thing I can say to that, use your voice. Because like you say, writing it leaves it for someone else. Even if you can't put it into the proper perspective or the noun, the verb, the adjective, put it on paper. And there's someone else who can read, who can share your story through what you write. You give what you are, and it'll come to pass just like that. Just do you. You can't be an amazing, you can't be a prominent speaker or an amazing author or dynamic Tom Clancy or anybody else, but write you and do you. And that's one way of finding your purpose. Be who you know you are, because grandmamas and granddaddies always told us, you are this, you are that. Hold on to the words of somebody told you what you can be, and don't listen to you ain't gonna never be this and it'll never be that. If one person told you something positive, hold on to one positive thing that you strive for in life and do that. And use your voice to share that dream and everything.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people are stuck because of what someone said that they weren't going to be when they were small and they were young. You won't mount to anything or negative things that was said to them. So definitely don't let that keep you from your purpose. I appreciate that. Last but certainly not least, in this round of questions, I would certainly like author Andrew Snorton to share some advice to someone who may be struggling to find their purpose. What would you say to them?
For someone who's struggling, I would say identify, and I know people talk about what do you like, what are you good at, and don't get me wrong, those are important things, but I would say, what is that thing or group of things that give you peace, yet push you to want to go a little bit further? And I think all of us to varying degrees can identify with that whenever you're doing the writing process. What's that topic that gives you peace, yet it's going to give you that push to go ahead and just speak to it, speak to the experience. And it's a challenge, like other people said. You've got to filter out, like one of the quotes I like from my third book, Nothing Minor, dealing with minor league baseball, is one of the quotes I received from one of the players. He said, filter out the noise. And sometimes that noise is external from the nonsense and destructive criticism, but sometimes that voice is internal where we've got to get out of our own way in regards to that gift that we have, that talent we always wanted to develop, things of that nature. So I would say, like our elders would say, part of it is stealing away and finding that spot where you can slow down the moving parts and just think and reflect, whether it's the prayer closet to the walk in the park, or that drive out on that road. But find what gives you peace, but also by the same token, what pushes you to want to be just that better steward, that better resource, as everybody has attested to. And when you're able to do that, don't worry about, you always get worried about the timing, and timing is important, but the importance is getting there. Seriously, the importance of getting there. It's just like no one asks you how long it took you to graduate. They asked, did you graduate? No one asked you how long did it take you to learn how to cook that meal. It's, can you cook something? So we have to make sure that we're balancing a lot of that noise, a lot of that criticism, and understanding everybody's walking in their path and purpose at different points in time. But the way and manner that you're doing it is on your time, which allows you to connect and reach with people and be a resource where others might not be. So again, I would say what gives you peace, but what pushes you to want to do and be better.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. I would like for you to share with the audience, in addition to what you just shared, what that has been like for you to leave on your purpose, to leave security, a job that may have been secure, to walk out this purposeful journey. Tell us just a snippet of what that was like for you, or what did it take for you to embrace that?
I'll say for me, the biggest moment that I realized that I needed to be elsewhere, it's a true story. It was September of last decade, I want to say like 2010, 2011. And I realized, because when I shifted into like focusing more on our nonprofit and doing grant writing or what have you, I realized out of those 30 days of the month, I was gone like 15 days. And I'm like, there's no way I can be in the classroom or on somebody's job being gone half the time. You're not going to have anything to come back to. And I think that was the moment where, and you know, it hasn't always been as smooth as silk. It's been as smooth as sandpaper sometimes. So to say that it hasn't been is a bold-faced lie, but you understand, like, you do your planning, your preparation, and then you have to go ahead. When it's in you, you go ahead and make that step. And you know that in making that step, you will always have the satisfaction of knowing that you tried versus wondering what if. And I think that sometimes is a big thing that holds people back. What if I'm not successful? What if nobody reads my work? What if I can't reach anybody? Well, you know, if you don't do anything, you already know the outcome. You already know the outcome. And that's where all the other things to prepare you, you know, through the lens of your faith, through the lens of honing and developing your skills, it's just having that confidence and understanding. I'm sure all of us can attest to it. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. If it's a sprint, Bishop wouldn't be here. If it's a sprint, our other author would still be stuck somewhere else. So we know that if you understand it is a marathon, regardless of the time that you have here, at some point you've got to get the gumption or the notion, if this is what I've identified, or if it's been revealed to me, then you know what? I got to move forward. And whether it's slow or swift, and I say this oftentimes, whether it's slow or swift, movement is movement. Whether it's small or big, a victory is a victory. And you still understand what you've been led through in order to get there, and you celebrate, you feed off of that, and you keep going.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Whether slow or swift, keep moving. Keep moving. Thank you. Bishop, can you share, um, how did you know, or that same follow-up question that Andrew just answered? What was it like as you transition? I know you retired from the military, so your journey is a little bit different in terms of dynamics financially, because some people don't have that, retirement income to kind of balance or offset. So what was that like for you to move from security of working a job to your purpose that may not be as consistent at times, secure at times financially, as easy? What was that like for you to transition, to move?
As oddly as it seemed, it had its ups and downs, because retirement was something, but it was always something else that I wanted to do. And then when you wanted to do the things, you don't have all the resources and connections that you need in order to get things done. So I was started security companies and everything, and I help people start a lot, but help people start other business. Like I said, I'm always trying to help somebody empower. But then again, I can attest to the fact that I like say in the past 6 years, it's like, darn, I'm just not doing. I'm helping everybody do this, but something is missing. And it's odd, like I told you, from after that being like, okay, it was like I was waking up in a dream, not knowing which way to go until and when we and putting the book and stuff like that together. And then we got the author thing. This is what I need to do. Tell somebody else so I can help. Because I'm always about helping others, but the best way I can help someone is to tell my story. And it's sharing me is what got it. And it seemed like it wasn't easy sharing people because everybody looks like, you know, it's like going to the off places that nobody else would go to. So I'm like, okay, I'm dressed a certain way. Nah, man, don't be like me. Be you, but be better than me. Because my always thing was always when you come to people, okay, I don't want to be the standard. I want to be below. I want people to see me as below the standard and be better than me. So it was like transferring from where I am now is like not all the fun's worrying. You don't have the backing to do what you want to do to reach people. It's the foundation I'm starting malehood to manhood. Because truly I always go out and talk to young males. Who did you learn to be a man? Where did you learn to be a man? Man, I don't need to be a man. But being a man is our sole purpose. That's the purpose of every male child, man child born a male. Our purpose is to be a man and not just a male. To be one who respects, to be one who someone can look up to be one who's empowered to pass something on to a generation. So the transition was like, oh man, you don't have that camaraderie that you have in the military. So you're out there on your own, in a sense, trying to build something and make a foundation for men, boys, males that look like us and trying to get them to it. And everybody, usually they see, man, you got it made, you did this. No, it wasn't easy. And so, and seeing all that, I can see the journey that our uncles, grandparents and everything, we seeing them at their blessing point, but we didn't see them at the point getting to the journey. So we, as much as we didn't think they had, we don't know what they had before then. They came from nothing to something. And we as Black males, African-American males, or not so traditional American males, we need to grab a hold to each other and just, make a change. Because if one Black man or male fails, we all fail. That's my philosophy. If I let somebody else fail, I failed. They didn't fail, I failed them. So that's the camaraderie and the
Awesome.
brotherhood.
Awesome. Tyrell, what has that journey been like for you? On this path of purpose, was it easy financially? Was it easy emotionally? What was that transition from after you came home from prison and you obtained the job and you said you realized the job wasn't for you? You had to make a decision. Do I cut this loose? Do I go out on faith? What did that look like for you? I'm sorry. Hold on just a moment. Start over. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm a writer, so I like to be very descriptive. So once again, picture a duck swimming calmly on the pond, and he looks so good. But imagine his feet doing like this underwater, going crazy. That's basically how it looked for me. On the outside looking in, it looked like everything was good. I came home. I wanted to enjoy life, so I did. I didn't have no money to put away. You can't put the money away for 17 half years unless you're a billionaire. So I came home and really just had to dig into what I was doing. Out the halfway house, my first job literally was paying $5.75 just to get out of there. So after that, I went to Mako, started painting cars. While I was painting cars, I was still putting my money up. And I started school. One thing I did do, I started school as soon as I got out. I wanted to get my forklift license, something that was going to give me an income. I was used to having money. And I couldn't take the conventional route of just saying, okay, I could put in all these applications because I didn't have a job experience. I didn't have a job history. I had a skill set that most people had. I had what I learned in prison, what I learned in the military. So it was tough. So what I did, I decided to go get my deal. And with that, I said I wasn't going over the road. I'm going to put in my application with Coca-Cola and they're going to hire me. I believe that. I talked to my pastor about it, put it in. Next, I got a call. I was driving for Coca-Cola. But at the same time, as I told you earlier, that wasn't my calling. that was a temporary fix for a messed up situation to obtain money to make sure I'm good, make sure my family good. All the while I'm doing that, I want to write. I want to put my books up. But if you got a job that's paying the bills, but you have a talent that you think might can possibly do it, you're gonna get up in a toss up. But me, I believe into myself, and I think I put up enough money to where I can say, you know what, it might be time to leave coat and pursue my dream and see what happens. And from there, blessings just became continue to happen. I didn't really have to worry about financial problems. I was able to travel. I had a good support. My wife, you know what I'm saying, Marsha, your niece, I had a good support system around me that made sure that I'm good. I was never put in a position mentally to want to stray to do something illegal. So if you're doing that, you living right, God gonna bless you. You know, I done paid my dues. You know, in my eyes, I done paid my dues. I don't gotta prove nothing to nobody on any format. You know what I'm saying? It's what I want to do now. And if I want to do it the right way, can't nobody tell me not to. And I'm gonna live good doing it. And that's where it started for me to try and put things in perspective that I can live right, live good, and show other folks how to do it from where I come from. Because not only did I do 17 years in prison, I have a twin. I come from an environment my mom had us young. We come from Chicago. We moved to Pensacola. We lived in Atlanta. All these places are urban, kind of like wild places that we grew up in, and we latched on to every bit that you could, even when I was incarcerated. So for me to make that change, it took a lot of spiritual growth and a lot of looking at my family and seeing the support that they gave me while I was in prison, and talking to them saying what I wasn't gonna do. I had to stick to that. You know, you can't have your folks come visit you and you tell them, hey, I'm not going back. I have this. I want to do a book, and then you don't do it. And then once you do that, what's next? The book. When I put the book out, truth be told, I was excited. I was good. I spent a lot of money. I put the book out. I was excited. But what I thought it was gonna do for me, it didn't. I could have followed up with many books. I told them that. But the thing it didn't do for me, I felt I had a bigger purpose in that. And this publishing company is that, helping other people that don't have a voice bring their books together, put that stuff out. People that didn't know how to market, that know how to write. I love my partner Alan Little out of it. His books, Country Boy 1, 2, and 3, 4. He was incarcerated with me. Great writer. He's going to get another chance, signed up to my company, put his book out and reach the level he's supposed to. We had distribution. So that's where my purpose and what made me try and take this route, because I like doing stuff hard. Everything that has been done hard, it has worked out to benefit me and the people around me. So that's the easy route led me to prison.
Awesome. And I'm sure that you guys would all agree that purpose in life gives you peace. Purpose in life gives you peace and will bring provision when you're walking in that purposeful life. You would all agree.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And so we're drawing close to the end of the show. If you guys can you just take 2 minutes each and share like one big event that you've done or one big something other than publishing your books that you're proud of? Because I know that you're proud of that, but I want to hear something that will showcase some of your other talents that you are really proud of. I want you to share that with the audience. So, Andrew, would you share something that you're really major, something that you've done that you're really proud of? I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
There we go.
Okay, great. I would say the biggest major thing is like any of us, starting and finishing work. That's always big. And I'm very blessed and thankful to all the bookstores, the book festivals, things of that nature, where I've been a speaker, things along those lines. And one of the events I'm really excited about is what's upcoming April 17th and the 18th, thanks to Black College Sports Group 360. They're doing a series of HBCU baseball classics, and I've been blessed to have done in-stadium book signings at their Jack Diamond Classic back on March 22nd. This past weekend, I just got back in Dallas, Texas, specifically Frisco, Texas, for the Lone Star Diamond Classic, and I'm really excited. April 17th and 18th, to not only do an in-stadium signing for the Music City Diamond Classic that'll take place in Nashville, Tennessee, but a portion of the book sales for my book on baseball, Nothing Minor, which I'm showing right here in hardcover. I'm real excited that a portion of those sales are going back, not into that nonprofit, but ultimately going back to the participating HBCUs. So that ranges from Edward Waters College, Savannah State University, this past weekend, Southern University, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then in a couple weeks, Lane College as well as Tuskegee. So when I think about 4 years ago getting my first book out, and now being here to where you can even make bigger impacts, not only with the topics covered, but what are you doing with the gifts to make sure to go back and reinvest? I'm very humbled and very excited, and like I said, I'm really looking forward. Everything's big, but that's like the most immediate big thing on the horizon. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Awesome. Thank you. And Bishop, something that you're, proud of that you're doing that you can share. Can't hear you. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go.
Okay. Over the years, like I said, the biggest thing I can say right now is over the years, I'm finally into a place of starting a church from the ground up. I've helped start so many churches and help people build ministries up. Now it's like I'm doing not my own thing, but I'm doing God's thing my way, in a sense. And I'm taking the courage enough to step out there with, no help, probably no backing or anything, but just starting and searching. It gives me great pride in the support that I am getting from the people that sometimes you don't think, the very people you don't think you can support, that will support you. And then you wonder, now it's going to sound funny and ironic, but all of us say we believe in God, but you can actually believe God because you don't know where funds are coming from, but things are yet coming in now. And it's like, it's amazing. It's stuff is coming and you're in the process of getting stuff built so you can do something, because I think the biggest thing I want to be is just have a school, just to teach those who school wasn't their favorite thing. Now I'm getting in a place where I can do that. And the biggest thing is just being not just lip service, but being a Black man who's able to tell other Black men, hey, come on, we can do this together. Holding hands and joining that. That's the biggest thing I'm accomplishing, reaching my brothers. We'll put it like that.
Awesome. Tyrell.
Yes.
Will you share with us, one of your biggest accomplishments or projects that you're most proud of?
All right. I would say my biggest accomplishment was, and it's real talk, it's me. My mom asking me to sign her book that she purchased that she wouldn't let me get her. That was my biggest accomplishment, to see her smile, and I signed it, and she smiled, and I was like, okay, you did what you said you was gonna do. So that's one of my biggest accomplishments. My second biggest accomplishment to date is launching this company, and to me it's a big accomplishment because I put a lot into it, and I have a great team that's putting a lot of work into it to make this a real deal big company, not just something that we could say, okay, we're publishing a book, we have everything in-house. So that's what we're trying to do. Like, I want to sign somebody in every region. Like, I'm in the signing business right now. I can actually look for talent, and that's the biggest accomplishment. I can actually sign a check and tell somebody, hey, you are a part of Playtime Multimedia, and mean it, not just in theoretically. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest accomplishment, that we're actually doing something with a dream that I put together, and my team is behind me in that. That's what it is to me.
Awesome. So I just applaud you all for taking the steps necessary to walk in purpose, because it takes putting one foot in front of the other in order to walk in purpose. And you all have done that and have been doing that for some years now. And I'm sure you will continue to do that and inspire other people. So I just want to take a moment and to let you guys share a favorite quote or a favorite saying with the audience before we close out this evening. So a favorite quote, a favorite scripture, a favorite saying, a favorite motto, whatever it is that represents you. I want you guys to share that with the audience. And we'll start out with Tyrell, if you would.
All right. I'm gonna put it like this: if you got anything you want to do, and you have an excuse for it, just say you want to go do something that takes money. Don't let that be the reason. Don't let that be the reason that you start off trying to put your foot forward. You know, because like I said, I came home with nothing, literally. You know what I'm saying? I did 17 and a half, and not one of my partners made the effort to say here. And I wasn't looking for nothing, but I did on my own. So when you start thinking like that, that it's no excuse on what you want to do. I don't care if you want to go to school and you be like, I got kids, I can't go. Or you want this new car, new job, put the effort in, get your education, take online classes. A lot of stuff free. You got to put that effort into what you want to do and don't let nobody tell you can't. And I'm a perfect example. I came home, and in less than 5 years, I have really put something together that's really gonna help me, myself, and a lot of others while we're empowering the Black people. That's
Awesome.
really
Don't let anything stop you from your purpose.
at all.
Don't make excuses. Thank you. Bishop.
Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. For this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. That's my favorite scripture, because nobody can tell me what I can't do. As you said, Tyrell, that's it. Nobody can tell you not. Nobody can tell whatever lips they put on you. God, you be encouraged by God's word to just strive on in spite of and not instead of. That's my favorite one. No weapon that's formed against you shall prosper. Not the tongue, not the gun, the knife, or anything, not even prison, not even your own confinement of your mind. God has the last say.
I love it. Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Andrew Snorton.
Two real simple quotes. Simple quote number one came out of the book Nothing Minor that I've alluded to before from one of the players to filter out the noise. That was something I referred to earlier, and just as my more than outstanding fellow guests have noted, you got to filter out the noise and nonsense. There are certain things and certain people you cannot listen to, and that includes yourself if talking you out of what you're capable of doing. And the second real short quote is going to be from my second book, Nine Stories of Faith, Volume 1. And this is from one of the people who I interviewed, spent more than 10 years incarcerated, but now is doing some great things community-wise. And this is what he said. And this is the same verse he read each and every day while he was incarcerated, as well as what he read today, Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God, and I will exalt you. So that reminds you of that spiritual base and that peace and presence that you're all looking for in order to have your steps as ordered as possible. So those are two real straightforward quotes I'd like to leave with people.
And real quick, we only have, less than 30 seconds. Where can they get your book? I need you to tell me where they can get your book.
Easily, all of my books and audiobooks are available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and almost 300 of your top streaming platforms. And you may stay connected with me on Facebook at author Andrew Snorton, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at author A Snorton. Email me at authorsnorton@gmail.com and refer to the business page of asnortonccs.com for more information.
Bishop, where can they get your book?
Yeah, they can just get me at Facebook, on Facebook, Johnny Causey, or on Twitter. Instagram on Johnny Causey. Either way like that. And I'll surely get a copy to them, and the upcoming one also.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Tyrell, where can they get your book or books?
Okay, right now you can get Stolen Innocence on Amazon, but that's gonna be pretty much short. Everything else I want you to get on Playtime multimedia website, and that's you can order directly from us, directly from me, any other author signed to me. and also Amazon. It's gonna be on every audio format you can listen to, iTunes, Apple Music, all the stuff like that. So that's where you can find my books. Go to my social media sites that's down below, and you'll find it. And also, everybody from Pensacola that has supported me, your last name Player or whatever, I appreciate y'all, especially y'all right there. You know what I'm saying, Pensacola. I really hope y'all really stand up and support, because I am really on the path to try and do something great, not only just for our city, but for us as a people. And I will be filming down there soon. Everything I told y'all, I'm stuck to.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And thank you, audience, for tuning in. We hope that you guys will tune in next week at the same time. You can also find Life with Shenita's talk show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FAM Radio Station as well. We thank you. We love you. Remember, God loves you most, and I certainly do. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night. Thank you, Men on Purpose.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.